and the host for bearing with me for the delay. These technical glitches always do happen, and we need to
Absolutely.
have have alternate solutions to all these initial kind of. You don't call them challenges; you just call them glitches initially. That. And now over to Kamala. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem, sir. It's so nice to have you with us here today and Happy New Year.
Oh,
So you're starting a new year with us. So it's going to be
I,
rocking.
I could sometime hear between the lines people talking about New Year resolutions, and when I was just trying to get connect, and I also stand along with you. Every day is a new beginning, and you have the world full of opportunities for you open. So it's only an occasion where the year the numbers change, nothing big for me. So every day is a new year, a new day, probably new day. And so anyway, because the numbers change, wish all of you a very happy and progressive new year 2021. God bless. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think it's 7:06, so let's get it started. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about the benefits of reading. Okay. I know everybody knows the benefits of reading, and that's why you're all here and you've started off your journey reading books and whatever you really love to read. It could be poetry, it could be essays, it could be papers, it could be anything, but you've just set out to read. Everybody knows the benefits of reading newspapers, but today I'm going to talk about what are the benefits of reading something that is not related to your work or related to your study. If it's going to be school children, you read your school textbooks, right? And if it's going to be office goers, you read something that's related to your work. If you're in the management side, you read your management articles. And if you're doing some research, you read a thesis, you read research papers, and all of that. I'm going to talk the benefits about reading something completely not inclined to your path of work or path of study or curriculum. That is studying for pleasure. Studying for pleasure is called as extensive reading. You read extensively just for pleasure. So just like how we see it's a breezy read, okay, just for us to relax. A lot of people think breezily reading or reading for pleasure is waste of time, or probably they're just having fun and it's not required. A lot of parents insist children to do something useful. Read something useful. Don't read storybooks and waste your time. Read something useful. We have been listening to that. Even when we read a novel or probably a crime novel or a fiction story, we feel like, okay, maybe I have to read something useful for my work. Okay. Now I want to break that mindset. That mindset is not a really healthy mindset. Today, I want all of you all to break that mindset where you think reading for pleasure is not going to be useful for you. Okay. We exercise, right? We exercise every day. Our bodies will have to move. If we don't move our body is going to become, it's not going to be active and it's not going to be healthy. The same way, we have to use our brain the right way. And the best way to exercise your brain or probably bring the best out of your brain is to read fiction novels, okay? Fiction stories. That is not a real incident. That has come out of the author's imagination. It has come out of the author's creative imagination. That's just an outburst of creativity. Okay. So that's just like how we say when you do plank. Plank is an exercise that builds your core muscles in your body. Just the same way, reading fiction novels is the best exercise to your brain. It could be science fiction, it could be a detective fiction, it could be a crime fiction, it could be just any genre. But when you start reading fiction novels, you're giving the best exercise to your brain. Do you know why?
maybe you just I mean the the content that you read, you just imagine what is written over there, try to understand, try to put in yourself there, and then
Good, good,
so
good,
your, yeah, your brain would be more active there.
good. Why could that be the best exercise?
And also we would be keep imagining and we would be keep guessing, how it's going to
Mhm.
move forward and what could be, we'll be trying to connect stories
Perfect,
and,
perfect.
yeah,
So you critically start analyzing things
saying, yeah.
and create. Okay. Any other guesses why you think it's the high benevolent? Yeah.
And you have to keep track of all the events that is happening.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. Any other guesses why? All your answers are yes, of course, on the right
Maybe the
track.
maybe the curiosity how the author would have does his creativity.
Perfect. Yeah. Creativity. Perfect. Now, if you have to talk in terms of how your brain works at that point in time, when you're reading a fiction story, these are incidents. Supposing the Harry Potter, when it came for the first time, okay, nobody knew something like that existed. Okay, you're creating an imagination that is not existing in the current reality. It is not present in the current reality. Uh, Priya, can you go on mute? Somebody is, yeah, just go on mute. Yeah. So your brain is creating new neural and sensory connections because it has to imagine something that is not present in the current reality. Okay, the author has created an imaginary explosion of his own ideas, and you will have to imagine your own way. Probably it might not match, but it is absolutely your own outburst of creativity where even unused part of your brain is actually getting used by building new neural connections. Okay, that's why fiction becomes one of the best exercises for your brain. Okay, so where even I'm not sure if you're going to read for your work or for your exams and all of that, but I would highly recommend you take a fiction novel this year and you start reading it. It could be crime fiction, it could be a thriller, it could be a science fiction, it could be just anything but a fiction. So that's the importance of choosing a fiction novel. Okay, now a lot of people ask me this question. Example, there's one Agatha Christie's novel, The Murder on the Orient Express. There's a movie also on the same novel, Murder on the Orient Express. There are movies on Harry Potter and there are books on Harry Potter. And even some Chetan Bhagat's books have become into movies, and there are books as well. A lot of students ask me, when there is the video, or probably when there is this movie already released, why should I even sit and read the book? I would tell reading the book is the best way than seeing a video or movie. Why do you think so? Why is why is reading a book preferred than watching it live on TV, or as a video or as a cinema? Any book.
Um, the director may have manipulated the real content of the or the real essence of the book.
Okay, okay, that's a good viewpoint. Okay, why should you read a book? Than Harry Potter, I would recommend you read a book than watching the entire series. And even there are a lot of movies that have been made, books that have been made into movies, but I would recommend you read the books than the movies.
Your
I think
Maybe
imagination and creative skills would be, I mean, would be lost when you watch a movie. It would be, I mean, in the point of view where of another person. It's not going to be your whole thing.
Ha ha.
So when you
Okay.
read a book, your imagination and your creativity would develop. So
Perfect. 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 Yes, Lakshmi, you wanted to make a point.
yeah, I was in the same lines with what Lavanya has said, probably, yeah, the physical book, we are actually feeling it. I mean, we are just
Mm,
reading it. We feel the physical book. And
mm,
also there's the auditory, everything, all the other sensory inputs, it is totally depend on our own imagination and and I'm sure it does lead to more neuro thing rather, we could be mesmerized, and even when we are seeing in the movie, probably we may like one aspect of the movie, not the in entirety. But probably in a book, only we are with the book and we are not distracted, and then probably we'll connect all the aspects of the uh, yeah.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Good. So I also have a viewpoint. Just like how somebody is working out in the gym, okay? I'm going and watching them for 1 hour. They're working out. And after coming out of the gym, can I tell that I burnt 300 calories? No, right?
No.
I'm just watching. I'm just watching Harry Potter, okay? And after the movie gets over, and I'm like, it's a brilliant movie. And after 2 days, or probably after a month or so, you will not remember the movie. Probably roughly, a rough sketch might be there, okay? But when you read it, when you read the book, you will remember the story even after so many years, okay? There's this book called, there's a biography of Indira Gandhi written by Catherine Frank. You will not believe I read this book. Oh, wait, let me pick this book. It's just so old, okay? This book, this was my first book that I read. It's so old. I still have, it's all brown color. Now, this book I read when I was 12 years old, and this is a biography about the life of Indira Gandhi. And I still remember the kind of letters that Jawaharlal Nehru wrote to Indira Gandhi. Okay, so he had written so many letters to her. I just read at that point in time. I just found this book when I was cleaning my cupboard. But then the impact that it has on your brain, on a long term memory, is so high compared to you watching a video or a movie on the life of Indira Gandhi. Okay, because my brain started exercising at that point in time, and it made new neural connections that it stayed in my memory for so long. Okay, I still remember how the story goes. It starts from Indira Gandhi's childhood days to how she leads, she leads the entire nation in a male chauvinistic country, and then how she gets assassinated, and all the entire political journey that goes through the entire of her entire life. So that's the difference. So people who are opting for watching the movies than reading the books, stop watching the movies. It's going to give you pleasure for just 3 hours, not for your lifetime. But if you really want to build your brain and exercise your brain well, you will have to start reading the books. Okay?
Can I ask a question,
Yes,
please?
Lakshmi.
In today's education system, because
Mm,
after all this, online education system,
mm.
even for the kids, you have such an classes, online classes, even all the videos, the
Mhm.
kids even say, because I've seen kids in my own society, that they say that it has got a very visual impact. It has a
Mm,
good auditory thing. I can stop and I can rewind anytime. If I
mm.
want, I can do it, because they feel that's the great input for them, because people
Correct.
think that I'm a visual person, I'm an auditory person, and
Correct.
all that stuff, and which even the kids, even for that matter adults,
Correct.
also
Correct.
prefer.
Correct.
So the absorption seems to be more over there, and they're able to, the movie buff, the movie lovers,
Yeah.
they create even the dialogues of the person, what kind of outfit where they were wearing, and where they were even standing, and they would able to reproduce it even
Correct.
after this. So if you say that it's a long term memory, but for most of the people, the visual impact than creating themselves is also a long term. Is it
Correct.
any
Correct.
contradiction, is there? I mean,
Now, no, when I'm telling about watching movies and reading, I'm basically talking about a story, a fiction story, or a life of a person. It could be something like that. Okay. Now, when we read our school textbooks, which are really boring, as in there's so much of theory in it, and if that is going to be made into a movie, or probably something that's really creative for us to make pictures, it's very easy. So when I'm saying it's going to be an atom or probably a nucleus, I might not be able to imagine, and probably a visual aid would help me imagine an atom and a nucleus. Okay, but supposing you're reading a Ruskin Bond's book for children. Ruskin Bond's book has a creative description of just a mountain and a tree. It would be just a mountain, a tree, or hill slope. It would be a 5-minute incident, but there'll be so much of description. If that description is going to be given as a visual aid, your brain stops to even start imagining. So it just sees, it just visually sees it, and then you don't build any new neural connection. But when you start reading it, you build new neural connection because you create your own imagination. So that's my point. Okay. Now, the third most and the last important point that I wanted to share is reading improves our concentration. This is what we say, right? Reading improves your focus, reading improves your concentration than watching movies and all of that. Now, how does it improve? How do you think it improves? We say reading improves concentration, and that's the fact. That's the point. Why do you think reading improves concentration and focus?
We may have to be, I mean, without concentration, if we read, we will not understand. So we need concentration to understand it,
Perfect, perfect.
probably.
Yeah, correct, correct. Any other guesses? Why?
Yeah,
How does it actually improve?
simultaneously, it's heightened sensory perceptions, right? You need to read, you need to comprehend, you need to understand the characters, their emotions. So
Perfect,
until unless you're in that meditative state, probably you'll not be able to.
perfect, perfect. Very true, very true. Okay. Now, in this generation, since we have our best friend, this is our best friend, right? These days. Now, this best friend is helping us do something really, we have become experts in it. Okay, that's called contextual switching. We're able to switch within minutes or within seconds. We are able to switch context. That's how our brain works. Example: now you're texting somebody on WhatsApp. Okay, you're texting somebody and suddenly a notification from Facebook pops up. You click on that. Okay, and then you go and you start scrolling the news feed, and then you play the video. This is called contextual switching. Okay, you're switching your brain, you're distracting your brain within a minute. Within a minute, you're just switching your brain's concentration to different aspects. Okay, and then suddenly the cooker actually blows there, and probably there's somebody knocking the door, and then you'll have to go. You're switching the context. Okay, so this you're becoming very, 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 very good at. For a human being, context switching is required, but not at the rate and speed that we are doing currently now. Not at this speed. When you're using social media and probably Twitter, whatever, even when you read on your mobile phones, you're reading a news on your mobile phone, suddenly there's a WhatsApp notification. You just go and click on that. You see that and then get back. Okay, so you're distracting your brain so beautifully, and you're becoming an expert in distraction. Okay, we're not aware of it. We are just not aware of how much how much of distraction we are causing to our own brains. Now, if you have to sit and read a book, okay, you open a book, you just try this. If you just open a book, and if your thoughts are not on the book, or if you don't intend to start reading, you'll just be on the same page for hours together. Have you ever experienced that? You would have just not even turned the next page. You would have just been, circling around the same words, and nothing would have even gotten into your brain. Now, that's where concentration is required. If you start reading, see, it's not that you'll have to concentrate and then read. If you read and get into the book and get involved and just live in the book, you are automatically, you increase your focus and concentration. Now, why is this concentration required? Concentration is required if you have to do any task that requires endurance. Example: marathon. If you have to run a marathon, more than your physical strength, it's your mental strength, right? You absolutely need concentration and focus. The best way to practice concentration and focus to endure tasks that take humongous time, or probably, that stresses you out, you'll have to begin reading. I'm not telling you you'll have to read some difficult book. Go grab some novel that you would love to indulge in and live in the novel for 2-3 days. That's where you build your concentration. Okay, so these are the best takeaways I think for you. You will have to, I don't want you to read just for your work or for your school. And please, parents, don't tell your children read something that's useful. Everything is useful. Supposing you're reading a crime novel or a detective novel, there's a beautiful plot. Your brain starts to build the plot, okay? And as and when you read the novel, your brain will automatically tell this is the climax, okay? If you're able to get such a kind of a conclusion, it means you're absolutely good in critical thinking. This is how a story helps you live life. Similarly, if you're going to read fiction novels and you're able to get the perspective of another author, you're absolutely getting the perspective of another author. It means you, over the time, you become empathetic. You understand just by looking at the person what is going on in his head. So this is how you develop human skills because of reading for pleasure and not just for the sake of reading for scoring marks, for getting a hike, or probably getting a promotion at work. Okay, so this new year, I want you all to just sit back, relax, and grab a book, have a cup of coffee, and just read. Read for pleasure. You'll have to feel like, wow, that's the kind of feeling that you have to aim for and read. Okay, so let this new year be very breezy for you, and take the journey really light and read a lot of awesome books are there, and you'll have to just read for pleasure. You have any questions, you can ask me. Else we can move to Sir. I think he's been waiting for so long.
It's my pleasure hearing, Kamala. So not an issue at all. Please let the
Yeah,
participants also involved in that. Right.
yeah. If you have any questions, we can take it, or probably we'll take the questions at the end. Let's begin.
Also, the ball is in my court. Right.
Yes, sir.
After a very kind of intelligent kind of briefing on reading a book, I still feel I don't have any points, no. But to the larger audience, I'm so proud that Kamala's is doing an excellent work. She has initiated, and I'm so proud because sometime long back, I was her teacher, not teaching any kind of literature books or languages, but a very strange subject which she hated, probably because there was no kind of imaginations or creativity in the subject. I taught her physics, and that's what is the ground reality. And uh, learning science, you go heavy, uh, without understanding. Fine. Now, coming to reading books, as very aptly quoted by Kamala, it's probably people talk about reading a book as a hobby. Instead, make it as a habit. Habit Habituate reading a book, and that would give you a kind of uh, pleasure which you would not find elsewhere. When I haven't read, I have not checked into the dictionary, but when I hear breezy, I feel the cool breeze around sitting on probably a beach, and feel that. Words give that feeling where you can, but when there was a comparison on a movie and reading a book, okay, when you when you hear the word breezy, you certainly feel that warmth, that cool breeze hitting you. But remember, watching a movie and then along a beach side there are two-person movie, you would never have that feel. So the best thing are found in book. It soothes you, more with your mind and the brain. I still remember my school days. It was sometime back in the 80s, 90s, when we had only one library period a week, and uh, as little children, we used to run to the library, reach first, and grab our books. You know the reason why we did that? Because the books then, we never grabbed any kind of novels or storybooks. We had all those little comics.
the cartoon characters around, and it was all kind of fun and exciting to go through those comics, and a series being published in a few of magazines like Wisdom, Champak, Chandamama. All of them were periodicals. Though we had the Nancy Drew and the Simple, all those series in. There was a suspense in these series. So you have the cartoon characters or the characters in the comics speaking their own words, and we imagine, it was a very kind of island, and the characters used to be very strange with a large teeth and a horn grown up. We just read that and then we feel, how furious the characters would be, how gentle they are. With the words we could sense them, and that is the essence of actual reading, where each and every one have their own creation. Creativity happens. So the way you portray your character there, the character what you read in the book, the way you portray might be different from the one which is being done by the next person who is going to read. So we have divergent thinkers while reading a book. They not to contradict, I'm talking about the different types of book. If it's going to be an adventure story, each one would kind of portray the characters or the scene their own way. There is no harm, there is nothing like right or wrong when you read a book and have that a kind of feel or the scene running in your head. So this is something which is very important. And in a classroom, like we exchange all these ideas. When we exchange these ideas among the children, it you get to conclude with a better one which is accepted more also. So let me not come narrow down to a classroom situation and things like that. Now when I started with, I said we were all rushing to the library with the comics. Sometimes we used to even run for a sports star magazine, because that was the only kind of available resources. The sports star magazine had a center page with a cricketer or a football sports personality, or that was an attraction to read books. The publishers, the printers had, but now because everything is handy, you grab a book. Okay, I still hear people saying, when I don't get a sleep, I just take a book and then read. Okay, so how far that is influential is a point to be noted. The purpose of book reading should be for self-growth. I believe it should be for self-growth. Self-growth, it does not mean that you should be climbing up the ladder in your profession, in your career, or some. You become rich in vocabulary, you become more perfect in your communication skills. You feel much better than yesterday. And that's where a book is always said as the best friend one can always have. You don't need to think of trusting or having faith, all these things with a humanly friend you need to check on. But a book always gives you that pleasure, it is all left to oneself, how you choose your books and then how you go on. So the latest my kind of experiences generally, to be honest, I also thought I didn't have enough time to read books, or kind of, that's an usual excuse most of them give. Out of 24 hours, when we calculate, I think we should be able to spare at least half an hour to 1 hour where we just simply wail off our time. We can use for our. Of late, I have uh, caught up with the habit of reading books, and when I was just wondering what I should be speaking to the in the session today, somewhere I remember getting this information that if you ask somebody how many books you have read a year, generally they say it is 5 to 10 books. But all successful people heard that all successful people do read about 50 to 100 books an year. Quite possible. It's only your commitment, your focus. And why should you read? The meaningful reading is what we are talking about. Yeah? So the purpose of readings is to give you a sense of what your televisions, what your movies, what your heroes, what your music, all those things most of the time are momentary, wherein this particular reading book gives you a kind of uh, what do you call self-esteem. I am not good at English at all because I was not a student of literature, but I leave it for the forum to decide. I am able to do probably a better job as speaking in English. Yeah. Now, these kind of self growth, if you have a target, because this is a very, and I'm fortunate that I'm speaking on this very important topic to on this very special day where the year has started. At least we will have to confine ourselves to reading a book a month to start with. So at least 12 books should be fine. It's not the volumes, it's not the number of pages what is going to decide on, but have a target. Unless you have a target, you would not be able to go through. We keep working for our employers. Our employers set target professionally, whatever career we are in. You know, can we not set targets for ourselves? And it's such a beautiful feel when you get to uh, read books. I've been reading Chetan Bhagat's Robin Sharma. I was impressed with this monk who sold a Ferrari. A very successful lawyer. How can he go as a failure? And what are the emotional imbalances so when I keep reading the book, I sense whatever the characters in the book are described. If the line reads like the lawyer cried loud, it was a kind of showery night, dark, this, that. I don't need to close my eyes also. When I read those, it's something like the screenplay in your movies, what you call. Okay, one scene after the other. So now this will give you more of creative thoughts, and you can also link this to your professional career where your problem solving becomes much easier. What generally we think, as most of them think, book reading as a hobby is okay, living away from anything related to work, this, that, and all. Okay, to break the routine is what one tries to, but there is an influence when, as Kamala had quoted, using your brain. You have a very small little brain, which is most of the parts are not used, obviously. Uh, so giving an exercise to such a little thing could make you a better person. And I think all of you have started that with Readathon. I could just go through a few of the names and the number of pages they had read. So keep going, but never take it as a hobby alone. When you read a book, it is for your own self. You will be a better person. There will not You cannot search for a better companion than books, and this is what is reality. Just underline, all successful people have been reading books throughout their career. Hope that makes good. Any questions, please? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Leave it to the forum if, in particular, we have anything to. Otherwise, I would take that this would be a very obedient forum wherein people only listen to.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay. I also forgot to tell one thing. Reading poetry. So, have you ever tried reading Keats' poetry or probably William Wordsworth's poetry? Poetry. It's all difficult, right? The words are difficult, mumble, jumble, what is ode, what is. I mean, you'll not even figure out what he's trying to tell with the ancient works. Okay, but then if you try to sit and figure out what they're trying to tell by decoding each and every word, you will live another life. You will absolutely live another life through the emotions that they are, portraying. When I sit and write something, like supposing I've gone through an emotional journey, I always like to pen it down. At that point in time, what happens is I'm lost of words. Just try writing. Supposing you're very emotional, you just start writing. Certain emotions, you will not even be able to put that on paper because you will not know what is that word that describes this specific emotion. But if you go and read poems of Keats, and there's this poem called Ode to Melancholy. It's about death. Okay, what an emotion that he has probably shown. I don't think so. People discuss poetry. Probably in our upcoming sessions, I'll probably take a poetry and I'll read it out for you and I'll explain the meaning of it. You will just love it. You'll just fall in love with poetry. So reading poetry is also one of the best exercises for your creativity, especially your emotional stuff. So if you really want to vent out and all of that, poetry is one of the major sources to get that from. Okay, and I think
Let me add, Kamala, for
yes,
the
sir.
forum here. Uh, I believe there's a lot of reading happening. Otherwise, you would not be seeing Kamala this way you are looking at her now. I know I knew her since probably around her 11 years or 12 years. I'm back to
2001.
when you were sixth standard is what I remember. I think I remember you were in your sixth, and she was such a inhibitive girl. Never. It's only that good morning, good afternoon, good evening you hear from her. Wherein her sister is a chatterbox. Hopefully, she's also there. Uh, so such a kind of inhibitive girl uh, is not short of ideas or thoughts to talk to people. It is the courage, it is the kind of confidence. That's what and uh, finally we have been in touch through probably 15 years, or I've not taken an account. Let's say hardly 10 years, or about 10 to 15 years, uh, she has passed out of the school, and then she has done her graduation, all those things, right? Now I see a different Kamala, where she is more expressive more than her subjects, or more than her specialization. She pens down. One fine day, I receive a beautiful kind of poem, which I thought, how can she do? And obviously, later when we were having a telephonic conversation, I just got to know that she have got the habit of reading books, and then emotions, penning down the emotions. You really search for the apt word. Unless and until you strike the word, you keep searching. That is the biggest gift of writing something. You don't compromise with, you compromise over a property, over a dispute, or whatever it is. But when you try to pen down your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions, you don't compromise until and unless you strike that particular word. Okay, that's something very great about poetry. I also very fondly remember about novels. Novels are so very interesting. It gives the reader a kind of open window. Each one look at it at a different perspective. When you were talking about your poetry, Kamla, I just fondly remember, as a part of my graduation, we had two novels, and I still remember both of them. One was Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, and then the other one was Animal Farm by George Orwell. you know so uh, every time I take up, I don't get the satisfaction of finishing the book, Animal Farm. Each time I take, I have a different perspective of the characters there. I have a different kind of understanding of the scene there. Now, back those days, probably I would have not gone into critical thinking or critical analysis of the characters. But now, uh, the summary is something like there'll be an animal farm which is owned by a private owner. The animals in the farm decide to kick him off, and then stay happily themselves. Then the animals kind of, they have some arguments, who is better, all those things. Now, very critically thinking, okay, I can relate it now to the political situation happening. Okay, that could be another viewpoint of a person. So when I start reading the same book, maybe after 6 months, I would have that book related to something else also, probably my own life, or my own kind of work atmosphere, workplace, whatever happening, I could also relate it. So there is no hard and fast rule that you will have to think this way. It is not a rocket science. A rocket science happens only with a kind of formula. If you deviate from the formula, it doesn't work. But here, novels give that kind of opportunity for us to look into each one has got a different glasses.
Right.
Please come.
Yes, rightly said. Thanks for sharing your views. Okay, now let's go into this readathon winners. I think everybody's expecting that. So, yes, Lakshmi, you have something to say?
So was asking, was there any question? But I just wanted to say there is not a question, because when you mentioned a target about reading a book, keep the reading. But I think along with the readathon, um, during the readathon itself, when I started, I completed a book. And after the readathon also, I completed another book. And now I'm parallelly reading two books. I think it's set in my unconscious behavior, and I'm reading two contradictory subjects. So yeah, that's the thing which I want to do.
That gives you a lot of confidence, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, completing a book itself was a different thing, so for me, so that's, I think.
No, usually we wail off a lot of time available and then have an excuse of not having time.
Yeah.
But when you make it as a habit, it's a part of your life. You would not be able to sleep if you don't touch a book for a day. That
Yes.
that's what happens when you make it as a habit.
Yeah. Thank you.
I believe there are a lot of people. Why don't they share about their journey to reading books? And I've heard of the name Vaishnavi,
Vaishnavi.
and yeah, probably the youngest reader, the youngest
Yeah,
reader
even
here.
Rakshita
Okay.
is junior Kamala. I see Kamala and Rakshita.
Oh, great.
This is the
So
girl
I
who
should be
I
closely following Rakshita, Vaishnavi, all the future probably authors. Why not?
yes,
Yeah, please.
yes. Vaishnavi, you have something to say, you can say.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, dear.
Rakshita, you have anything to share, like how your experience was in the readathon and what happened during our reading module? You can just share your thoughts and how it went about.
For me, yeah. For me,
Yeah, you're
Readathon
audible.
was For me, Readathon was very amazing and it was really fun. It was a great opportunity for me because I have improved my reading skills after this competition, and also I enjoyed competing with others. During this 10 days, I have learned many things, such as like I have learned many vocabulary words, and also I have learned the importance of reading newspapers. And also I have got a better understanding about nature while reading Ruskin Bond, and I have improved my reading pace. So that was really nice. Yeah.
So cute,
Lovely.
Rakshita. Great, the wonderful girls, right?
Yeah,
Please,
thank you.
please make it as a habit, my dear, not for the sake of competition. I know you would do it. I can probably, Kamala gave me a cue saying that she's junior Kamala. Probably you would be more than junior Kamala, 'cause, all the very best. Keep doing, and you will feel that stand alone in your peer group, you would be a star in your group in the class, and that's what is going to be your biggest prize. All the very best, Rakshita.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Lovely. Okay, so I think let's reveal the winners of the readathon. So, will you be able to share your screen, or shall I share my screen? The winners.
Um, I think I should be able to, right? Hopefully, yes.
You've opened the
Yes.
winners. Yeah.
Oh, very, very interesting to be reading out the winners. And so, a proud moment to declare the winners of Breezing Minutes Readathon
2020.
2020. Here we go. The little ones. They are the reading rock stars,
Reading.
Rakshita.
Okay.
So again, you stand a chance to win here. And Vaishnavi, both the little champions.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and keep doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
How do you feel now winning this prize? Rakshita and Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi is also there. Now I don't want a new year. Wish Vaishnavi, I need something else. Are you there, Vaishnavi?
She's there.
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Oh, great.
You know,
uh,
when Vaishnavi has enrolled in for the speaking module, okay. So
okay.
during the class, I teach her, and uh, there'll be some mock tests for speaking. I'll be like, so how do you think you did? And she'll be like, I think I got a 1 on 5. I'll be like, no, you were better. You got 3.5 out of 5. You know what she says? Oh, you're being so generous to me. That's what she
That's the kid. That's what a kid always.
yeah,
They don't have any kind of fear.
absolutely.
What they feel, they speak out.
Yeah,
but
and
but it's the other way, Kamala. As an adult, we feel we deserve something more,
yeah,
and we are given less.
yeah, correct. So I just wanted to tell everybody on the call. So this, how are the winners declared? So what is the the criteria for the winners being declared is they'll have to show a continuous progress. A linear graph has to be plotted, which means if they read 2 pages today, they have to read 4 pages tomorrow. So it has to just go on an increasing pace. So anybody drops in between, so they lose the competition spree. But then they still have special appreciations that I'm being giving. But then this is the pace. So small kids are very smart. They know today I'll read 1 page because tomorrow I have to read 2. So that is how these people planned, and they have done it so beautifully well. But special congratulations to Rakshita, who enrolled in for the reading module. So she was a kid who was the first time I met her, she was absolutely not interested. As in, I really felt Priya forced her to get into this reading module. Okay, but then as and when Readathon started, and she started picking her books and she started reading. At the end of the 10th day, I mean, on the 10th day, she read 60 pages on one day, which I feel
Wow,
is like
that's
a great,
great.
yeah, absolutely.
Now I get the real meaning of why you kind of named her Junior Kamala.
Yeah,
She
right.
wasn't Junior Kamala wasn't interested, and now she is full of enthusiasm, interest. And that's where probably Rakshita is also going to go a long way.
Okay.
Great journey. Yeah. Now let's move on to the next
Yes.
category. Yes. You have again
Vocabulary. You have to.
Rakshita rocking for the vocabulary rock stars. So
Okay.
you are full of vocabulary. You are a dictionary, Rakshita. Congratulations. And yet another student, Kartika, a HR professional from United Arab Emirates.
Hi,
Congratulations, Kartika.
hi.
And
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasant,
I,
it's a pleasure to hear from you after a very long time.
now
Happy New
this is
Year.
my real happiness. Thank you. Wish you the same. Let me hear from you, and I'm going to go mute mode to listen to Kartika, the elder one, who's supposed to be a chatterbox when
Yeah.
compared to Kamala.
I actually
Please.
never thought she'll win it. Okay, I didn't actually want her to win it, but I don't know why. I was
I'm
like,
also actually very shocked to see this.
no, but then I
Okay.
thought, okay, we'll have to be really true to what we laid out for, and she worked for it. She read the books or pages until she got the desired number of vocabulary. So that is something that I loved. Okay, she read some 42 pages until she got the target vocabulary for the day. So not just okay, it's enough. I'll just close the book. So she did that. So I
I
thought it's
think I
really
need to have a
Great.
competition very often.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Kartika. But on a lighter note, I cannot imagine Kartika as Sashi Tharoor for your vocabulary, please.
No.
Please go ahead
Yeah.
and share your thoughts. Yeah.
So, to be very honest, it has been so long since I read. So after my college days, my reading drastically reduced to a great extent. Okay, to be very honest. So now, because this readathon has started, see, for me it's like this. If I have a competition, so I get so much involved in that. That is my mindset. Maybe I'm not very sure about it. So once this readathon started, so I really wanted to read. Okay, so I wanted to improve my vocabulary and everything. So once readathon stopped, actually the very next day I'd stopped, but again I started. Okay, I should not stop after the competition is done. I should even continue. So I would like to say to everybody that please make reading your habit. So don't stop reading. Okay,
No,
so
don't worry.
I really have this mixed emotions when I started reading. It was like, oh my God, I had missed 10 years of my reading. I really felt bad. So I don't want to continue that mistake. I don't want to repeat that mistake again. So I'll have to read. I'll have to start reading again. So that is my goal from now. So that is what I
Wonderful,
wanted to
wonderful.
share with you all. So
Okay, nice. Thank you so much.
yeah,
We'll,
welcome.
we'll
Can we
have
also hear
exciting-
from Rakshita as a vocabulary rock star? How do you feel?
I feel really impressed of myself because uh, in the start I didn't know that much vocabulary, and I don't use that much vocabulary while I write and speak. But now, since I have read a lot of pages and a lot of books in this competition, I have really improved my vocabulary words, and I've really scaled up my vocabulary knowledge.
That's a visible change.
Yeah.
What we can see, your words speak much better, and God bless you, my dear child. I wish you greater heights in the days to come with the books, and you are going to be a shining star with all this rock star award. You are going to be a shining star who will always guide other children in the peer group. Great going. Yes, Kamala,
Thank you,
please
Sudha.
take over.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
sir.
Sir, can you just scroll down so that I can just complete in your in your screen share itself. Now, these are special appreciations to people in the group who showed extraordinary interest and okay, let me start with Lakshmi. Okay, so Lakshmi is the senior HR professional, and I think she spoke a few minutes back. Lakshmi was a person who was not very comfortable with complicated vocabulary. Okay, so she generally felt simple read was, it was great. Why do people make it so complicated? So let it be so simple. But then, if you just have a look at all the list of vocabulary that she gave every day, hers was the most complicated vocabulary that came out of the entire show. I just went through everything and I was like, oh my God, is this from Lakshmi? So she has become very open to reading complicated stuff. So the Sashi Tharoor kind of words that actually came out from Lakshmi. And Lakshmi read the highest number of pages among everybody in the group. She did 383 pages, and she had about 190 vocabulary. I'm not sure. I've just written it down. And she did not win this only because one day she dipped down, but otherwise she would have won this marathon. Just one day she dipped down. It was some 11 pages or something. Probably she wasn't well. I'm not sure. So apart from that, Lakshmi was the showstopper, to tell the fact.
Great one, Lakshmi ma'am, and then congratulations. Keep doing. Uh, these awards and rewards should not be barriers for anybody to stop reading.
I want Lakshmi to say something.
That's interesting, yeah, because when even sir talked about telling Kartika don't become Shashi Tharoor, because first day when Kamala and myself, we both were talking, hey, why do we make complicated? Because I like, she was asking, would you prefer Sudha
Murthy.
Sudha Murthy or Shashi Tharoor? I said, obviously Sudha Murthy, because she can reach to millions of people, and it's much simpler, even the complicated. See, when you talked about physics also, even the Albert Einstein he explained the theory of relativity in a very simple manner. I mean, that's when even people started liking physics. Otherwise, anyone would be running away from physics too.
Very true. Very true.
So that's the thing. But then I thought, okay, I said, hey, okay, this is not a competition, but I need to compete with myself with this mindset. So I was just competing with myself. Hey, would I be consistent in picking up this and doing this, so it was real competing with me. So the first day when Kamala wrote, hey Lakshmi, I didn't expect this from you, I said, okay buddy, this is the gift for you and for myself. So that's why I did. And the one day when I was dipping, I mean, actually, I was yeah, I was not well, and I was handling many things together. That's why. But yeah, but since I didn't lose the spirit, I just wanted to compete with myself, and because would I sustain with this complicated vocabularies? Yeah, that's when I went about. Yeah.
You just did a brilliant job. I am in the process of compiling all the vocabulary that came out of this readathon that we might be using in future to pen down some creative stuff. You'll figure out yourself what kind of words you've picked up in the entire readathon.
Thank
I was
you.
like, oh my God, is this Lakshmi? Okay, next. Next is Gideon. I'm not sure if Gideon is on the call. So Gideon fell sick on the third day of the marathon. He could not even complete a page or a vocabulary. But from the fourth day, he did not give up, and his graph was going linearly upwards. So he came like a phoenix. He just rose out of the ashes, and he just gave a beautiful finish. So Gideon has to be appreciated for his never giving up attitude. So Gideon, congratulations for that. I'm not sure if you're on call today with us. I think he isn't available. Okay, no problem. Can you scroll down, sir? Okay. Uh, Vaideshwari and Madan Raj, why I wanted to appreciate them is they did not show a linear graph though. So there wasn't much increase in all of that. But not even a single day there was a zero. They made some attempt at least to complete one page a day. So they did 3-4 pages, 3-4 pages. They were like, okay, but then I did not see a dip. They never gave up. So I would like to especially appreciate Vaideshwari and Madan Raj for this. Congratulations, all of you all. Well done. So I'm going to send your prizes along with a letter. Okay. So I'm not sure when I'm going to do that, but I'll definitely do it. Okay. Probably give me some 2-3 days. I'll parcel your gifts. So that's going to be another surprise for all of you all. Okay. So this is okay. Just look at this. Okay. In 10 days, we read 1047 pages, and the total vocabulary that we accumulated was 926. How do you think? What do you think about this? This is a great feat, right? So we've done good. But you know what? Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. All of us could read 1047 pages in 10 days. So imagine what people are doing. So the greatest of the greatest people, just like how Sir said, they read. Okay, you just read and you create a fortune for yourself. So that's all about it. And I'm sure January, February, March is just going to rock. I'm going to have some creative events coming up for reading, and all of you are going to get involved in it, and we're just going to increase the pace of our reading, and we're going to do more of it. Okay, and let's see results in our own lives.
Great,
Okay.
great. Thank you so much for all these competitions, Kamala. And a very personal kind of request. Probably I would also involve myself for the competition. And let's see if I'm going to give a tough fight to Vaishnavi or Rakshita.
Okay.
If age is not a barrier, I would also run with them. Yeah.
Okay, now I have a small surprise to people here. You can refer this to your family members and friends or people who are in the group. Let me share my screen. I'm not sure if I can share my
I would
screen.
stop that for 1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Kamala, you
Okay,
can.
now I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay, this is just a New Year gift, and this New Year gift is only for the reading module. And to be a part of our reading group, we're going to have 3 readathon events the month of January, February, and March. And this is just for your relatives and people who are on the call. Probably you can share it with your friends and family. Okay, so this is the surprise gift for all of you all. Now this is it. Okay, so you can get personally trained, mentored with me. Okay, you can have this mentorship program with me for you know right, we have 15 days of live sessions one-on-one, with me, you can have that, which goes about 1 to 1.5 hours. Apart from that, you have 3 readathon events. Along with that, we also have reading group meets. And I also have one complimentary module called is confidence booster that I give. So all of this put together for 3 months, you just get this at $100, which means you're paying $1 a day. Okay, $1 a day is less than 100 rupees a day. So this is the price of the program. So it comes around 7,300 in terms of Indian rupee. And if you want to enroll in for the reading module mentorship, where I'll be teaching you how to read, what techniques to apply for reading, and we'll be doing a lot of story reading together, a lot of poetry reading together, and comprehension exercises for you to help you understand how to comprehend, how to understand what's written. So if you want to share this surprise to any of your family members, it's available only until January 10th. This is beginning from February. So February, March, and April, you can share this you can share this with them, and they can get benefits out of it. Even otherwise, I'm starting my Instagram and my Facebook page where I send my regular 1 minute videos, right? So you can also get benefits from that as well. So this is it. Okay. So I hope you found this session useful. It's 8:11 now. And yeah, you can share your final feedback or views and all of that to me. You can talk to me and we can wind up the call. Anything you want to share, Priya, Rakshita, Vaishnavi, Kartika, both of
I want
you?
to share you.
Yes, Vaishnavi. Come on.
This session was very great and it was very informative for me, and it was just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, Vinolan. Vinolan is my Facebook friend from a 10K member women group. So hi, Vinolan. Did you find this
Hi.
useful?
Yes, it was very nice, Kamala. Actually, I was thinking, I religiously followed your word of the day program. But then how can I miss this readathon? I'm finding it so bad now. I could have participated.
Okay.
Like as your sister said, only if there is a competition, I get drived. So I'm like her.
Okay.
So I
you
missed
can
it
be
this
a part
time,
of a
but next
community.
time. I missed it this time, but next time when you organize such events, definitely I'll make a point to participate.
Definitely, Vinolan. Thank you so much.
And this was very nice.
Thank you.
Great. Kamala, I believe we can hear from Madan Raj also. He is there.
Yes.
I can see him.
Madan?
Probably he's not aware that he is one special kind of recognition.
No, in his place, there's so much of network connectivity issue that, he
Probably,
generally, probably that's the reason. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Lavanya
To all the
Sampath.
participants here. Yeah. Who is that?
Lavanya Sampath.
Yo.
Somebody coming in.
Yeah.
Hi, Lavanya.
Hi, for the session, yes, it was good, much informative. So I also expected a readathon challenge. I'm not sure even how I did miss that challenge, which was
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay. See, the point is readathon. I introduced it only for my community, people who are my students. That was a very closed group, community audience to which I introduced readathon. Probably in the coming months, I'll introduce it to the public so that even others can come in and join in. So next time, I'll definitely let you know about the readathon challenge.
Yep, sure.
Definitely, Lavanya.
Yeah,
And yeah, you're welcome. And people, okay, Lavanya and Vinolan, just a minute, since you guys are new, probably I can share this. Okay. This is just for Lavanya and Vinolan. Just in case you want a personal mentorship from me, you or any of your friends, you just need a personal mentorship. You can there are, see, a lot of joyous modules that you can enroll in for. So I teach reading, grammar basics, grammar, advanced vocabulary, listening, speaking, writing, confidence booster, placement training for people who want to get a job. But otherwise, if you're already on job and you want to improvise your business communication, these modules are particularly only for business communication. Okay, so basics of communication, writing business messages, how do you draft an email and send a beautiful mail to your managers so that they get convinced in the first moment, and interpersonal communication, business etiquette and cross communication, developing oral communication skills for business. So these are the modules that I give personal mentorship on, just in case, this is just for information, okay? Just in case you want to get a personal mentorship and get trained on, you can opt for this as well. All right. I had a nice time interacting with you. Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, you just mentioned all these personal mentorship that you do, right? So, do you have kind of a, package or something, or
Yes,
it's a
yes, yes.
course or something?
See,
Okay.
I have a package for every module. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You just let me know what are your needs. Supposing you need business communication. So you let me know what is your need. I will opt the module for you. I will tell which module to take in, and I'll also tell you the price for it. So you can pay and you can get a personal mentorship from me. You will have support with me probably throughout life as well. So it's like a personal one-on-one session that we have on Zoom, and then we do, you'll be utilizing all the skills that you're learning live at your work. Okay, so that is how my training would be. I customize my program for the person who is coming in for mentorship, because I cannot teach what I teach a 12-year-old to a 56-year-old, right? So I
Yeah.
customize my module according to their work needs and their personal needs.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Lavanya, thanks much.
Thank you.
All right, that was a good session.
Thank you. When you call it a day, probably my final words are, I'm really excited after the session. Through the session, I was excited, but now I can't hold myself uh, uh, being a participant for the readathon or staying young, uh, reading a book.
Okay, lovely.
Probably you have again kind of motivated me to go more into book reading, though I do a bit of reading. You have now uh, you're kind of motivator. What I don't know what I had done for you as a child, but it's a great feel to be a student for a student. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, sir. Thank you
And
so
there
much.
are two teachers for me now in the forum. Great, great. And a lovely session, the lovely participants. So God bless you all, and then happy reading. Enjoy, and let's see ourselves better each day. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much,
much.
sir. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye, bye,
Bye,
bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kamala. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
Bye,
all.
bye,
Kamala. Thank you, sir.
Vinolan. Bye, Priya. Bye,
Thank
Rakshita.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Vaishu.
Bye.